Hi, and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's Game of Thrones Season 6 predictions for Bran. This video is a part of a series of videos where I give my predictions on what I think will happen in Season 6, focusing on a different character every week. This week I'll give my predictions on what I think will happen with Bran Stark in Season 6. So I'll give a spoiler warning for all of Game of Thrones up to Season 5 and a spoiler warning for filming and production news for Season 6. If you don't want to know anything about what's been confirmed for Season 6, this video may not be for you. Also, spoilers for Song of Ice and Fire novels on which Game of Thrones is based. Just spoilers all around. You have been warned. So, to reveal just how geeky I am and how little of a life I have, in the past I've actually edited Game of Thrones into different character arcs, following the journey of each character. And I've noticed Bran's storyline is always roughly about half an hour long for each season, whereas most characters, main characters like Sansa, Cersei, Arya, and Brienne are about an hour long. And major players like Jon Snow, Daenerys, and Tyrion are more like an hour and a half for each season. So historically, Bran has had less screen time than the other main characters, and I think this season will be no different. But it's funny that many people say that Bran didn't appear much in Season 4, but that actually isn't true. He actually had more screen time in Season 4, around 33 minutes, than he did in Season 3, which was around 27 minutes. It just seems like he was in Season 4 less because he only appeared in 4 episodes, whereas in Season 3 he appeared in more episodes, but they ultimately just stretched it out over more episodes rather than Season 4. His appearances were consolidated in fewer episodes, but he actually appeared more. So for Season 6, I think he will have the same average screen time of a half an hour, and will not be a major factor as always, but I do think his storyline will be stretched out over more episodes like in Season 3. So we haven't seen Bran since Season 4, as he had been taken off Season 5. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss explained the reason for doing this is that he was basically training. And to show his this training on screen wouldn't be very interesting. They compared it to Star Wars, where between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker became a much better Jedi and was much more apt with the Force, and it wasn't necessary to see this training, and it wouldn't be very interesting. That being said, we did see Luke do some training in The Empire Strikes Back, so I do think we will see some training with Bran in Season 6, but not a whole lot. I think when Bran starts Season 6, he will have already had a lot of training and will be a better warg and greenseer. And I think that he and Mira Reed will already have an established relationship with the Three-Eyed Raven and the Children of the Forest. The Three-Eyed Raven, by the way, has been confirmed to be recast, so he will no longer be played by the actor seen in that clip at the start, and will be played by veteran actor Max von Sydow, who I remember best from movies like Minority Report, Judge Dredd, and Needful Things. So I do think the first part of the season will mostly be him underneath the tree with the Three-Eyed Raven doing greenseer and warging things. We will also get some character interactions with Mira and Leaf, but most of the focus will be on what he's learned to become a great warg and greenseer and what he still has to learn. But most of all, I think they will use Bran in order to get more backstory of the history in the past, so we'll get some flashbacks through Bran. So I think the Three-Eyed Raven is going to take him into a tour of the past, so he's more aware of what's going on in the present, not just with the White Walkers, but with all of Westeros. So, there are 2 big flashbacks that have been confirmed for Season 6, one being with Ned Stark and probably his siblings, Brandon and Lyanna, when they were children, and another is the Tower of Joy sequence. So first let's talk about the scene with Ned and his sibling as children. This is similar to a scene we did get in the books where Bran saw a scene played out like this near Hearttree in Winterfell, but he didn't quite understand it. He described a girl that kind of looked like Arya, but we know from descriptions of Lyanna that this was probably her as a child, and can reason it out that it was Ned and Lyanna as children. So there has been a young boy confirmed to play Ned Stark in Season 6, and several other young actors cast for that same scene, which leads me to believe we will get a version of this in Season 6. Although my prediction is it will be a tad longer than it was in the books, and we will get a bit more information that set up Ned and his siblings than it did in the book scene, because the show hasn't done that all that much to establish them, so I believe they will do so more here. And this will all be set up for the Tower of Joy flashback, which will come slightly later in the season, possibly the same episode, where we see the Tower of Joy. So, those of you who haven't read the books, or may not be aware, the Tower of Joy sequence refers to an incident that happened at the end of Robert's Rebellion, where after Robert defeated Rhaegar Targaryen at the Battle of the Trident, Ned Stark went further south to ensure their victory. On his search to find his sister Lyanna, who supposedly Rhaegar had captured, he comes to a structure in the mountains of Dorne known as the Tower of Joy, where she was being held. The tower was protected by 3 legendary fighters of the King's Guard, none the least being Arthur Dayne, one of the most legendary fighters of Westeros, who had reportedly been cast for Season 6. Ned Stark and a group of soldiers engaged the 3 legendary King's Guardmen in combat, and they managed to defeat them, but only Ned and his companion Haldon Reed, father of Jojen and Mira Reed, survived. This scene was seen in Book 1, where we saw these events play out in a dream of Ned Stark. However, it ends shortly after the battle, where Ned found his sister in a bed of blood in which she died. But before she died, she asked Ned to make her a promise, the specifics of which have yet to be explained in the books. So this has led to the very popular fan theory R+L=J, which speculates that Lyanna died giving birth to a son that she had by Rhaegar Targaryen, and the 2 of them were actually in love and ran away together. And the promise she asked Ned to make her was to take care of her son and keep his identity hidden from Robert's Rebellion, who were killing anyone with Targaryen ties. So Ned claimed the boy was his bastard and would raise him to be the person we now know is Jon Snow. So I do believe this will be confirmed in Season 6 finally, and the Tower of Joy scene will go beyond where the books went to show definitively that Jon Snow is the son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. There have been reports of this fight scene by the Tower of Joy being filmed, and there have been reports that Isaac Hempstead Wright and Max von Sydow were seen filming in that area as well. So I do believe it will be them watching this play out, and it will be done in a stylistic way that show Bran and the Three-Eyed Raven watching this, but they're viewing it from present times as a memory rather than time traveling to the past or anything like that. So they will be watching and making commentary on it. I believe the Three-Eyed Raven will show this to Bran for significance it has in modern times, namely that Jon Snow is a Targaryen, which will make him special. So I think this will be spelled out for the audience through their dialogue. So R+L=J was heavily foreshadowed in Season 4 with Stannis. He doubted that Jon Snow was actually Ned's bastard, and there was some talk of Lyanna and Rhaegar in the past that portrayed Rhaegar in a kinder light. So I do believe R+L=J will be confirmed in Season 6. However, I don't think Jon Snow will become aware of it this season. It's mainly Bran and the audience that will be made aware of it. To be clear though, I think Jon was a lonely child, and Mira Reed isn't a twin as some theorize. So that's what I think Bran's storyline will mostly consist of this season. Some epic flashbacks that build the backstory for the audience, that in my opinion is long overdue, and some character building scenes with Bran, Mira, and Leaf, and some Three-Eyed Raven training scenes. Now, in Season 3 and 4, Jojen Reed heavily implied that Bran was the only one who could stop the White Walkers, and I'm still entirely uncertain what exactly that will entail, but I do believe they will build on that this season. Since we know Jon Snow in Season 6 will be busy battling the Boltons, I believe the only scenes with the White Walkers will be through Bran's storyline. I don't think we'll get that much of the White Walkers this season, but my prediction is towards the end of the season, Bran will send Mirror, Leaf, Hodor, and Summer out on a reconnaissance mission to learn more about what the White Walkers are up to, and perhaps try to begin to set in motion their ultimate goal in defeating the White Walkers. Bran will accompany the mission in the form of warging, as he will warg into Summer and into Hodor while on the mission, but his body won't physically be there. Anyway, while on the mission, something will go horribly wrong and they'll have to retreat without achieving their goals. And I predict the very last scene of Season 6 will be a shot of the White Walkers along a massive army of the dead approaching the wall. And then the season will end. I don't think the wall will come down this season, and possibly not at all. I believe the Walkers trying to find a way to circumvent the wall will be explored more in Season 7 and stretched out over time throughout that season, as there will be a standoff with the Walkers just on the other side of the wall. At least that's my predictions for it. So that's it for my Season 6 predictions for Bran. These are all just wild shots in the dark, so I'm not really expecting to get more than 20% of my predictions correct, and if I do, I'll consider it a success. So be sure to check out my channel for many more Game of Thrones videos, and check back here every Monday for a new Game of Thrones Season 6 predictions video focusing on a different character every week, and make sure you subscribe so you can keep up with all that, and thanks a lot for watching.